Okay, grade 5. Welcome to English class again. It's good to have you back. It's a beautiful day. As you can see, I have the window open. It's so nice today. I have an espresso machine here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's here, and I'm making all kinds of good drinks with it. If you come over, I might make you one. So, here we have a picture that I drew. A very crude drawing, so don't laugh too hard. You may laugh at it, but I didn't want to show my true artistry skills. No, just kidding. So, here we have a tree, right? This is an object, a tree. Here we have some things around the tree. Bird, bird, big bird, bird, part of a bird, if you can see that, hopefully. And there's a bird sitting on the ground. So, there's things surrounding this object of the tree. And what you're going to be learning today is about prepositions. Prepositions, anyway, we're going to get into that. So let's just look at this picture. And we can make sentence with these. So think of the tree as the object. In this picture, the noun, the tree, right? Here we have a bird. Where is this bird? It's underneath the tree, right? This bird is behind the tree. This bird is in the tree. This bird is huge, above the tree. This bird is on the tree. This bird is near the tree. Near the tree, on the tree, above the tree, in the tree, behind the tree, under the tree. Notice how we have phrases, and those phrases are started with a word. That word is a part of speech that you're learning today, prepositions. So the bird was, and you could have, depending where that bird was, you can have a different preposition making this phrase. The bird was under the tree. The bird was behind the tree. The bird was beside the tree or near the tree, right? That's a preposition. A preposition is a word that begins a phrase telling where that object is, right? So here we have a noun, and it's describing the noun and pronoun in that phrase. So that's just to give you a good illustration of what a preposition is. Think of these birds as the prepositions, and this as the object of the preposition. Tree is the object. The object of the preposition has to be a noun or a pronoun. So now let's go over to the next board, and we're going to talk some more about prepositions. Okay, so what exactly is a preposition? Well, if you look in your lesson, a preposition is a connecting word that begins a phrase. So, and if you look at your lesson again, you have a list of common prepositions: across, after, around, before, behind, down, for, from, in, near, on, over to, up, under, with. I want you to memorize those prepositions. It says memorize them. And that's what it means when it says that. It says memorize them, so that means memorize the prepositions, right? So you need to memorize those because then it'll be a lot easier for you in English. When you come across prepositional phrases, you can easily pick them out if you have the prepositions memorized. So go ahead and memorize those. It doesn't have to be in 1 minute or 3 minutes, but take some time studying them. So how do you find a preposition? What does a preposition do? What is it? What does it do? Like I said, but think of a preposition as a phrase. It starts a phrase. Prepositional phrase would probably be the more proper way to talk about it. And preposition is a part of speech. There are 8 parts of speech in English. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. You've learned 5 of them. Now you're going to learn the 6th one, and then there's 2 more after that that you're going to learn by the end of this book. So the first one you learned was a noun, right? Noun and pronoun. Noun and pronoun kind of go together. Noun, pronoun, verb. You know what a verb is, right? And an adjective describes a noun. An adverb modifies a verb. And then we have the preposition today. So we are going to get familiar with them. So think of preposition as a part of speech. It's not like a direct object, a predicate noun, predicate pronoun, stuff like that. Those are parts of sentences. These are parts of speech. Noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb, preposition. I'll tell you what the last 2 are. Conjunction interjection. You're going to learn about conjunctions in this chapter as well, but it's preposition, conjunction, interjection. So preposition is a part of speech, and most prepositions are small, simple words. So, like I said, memorize that list of prepositions there, and also a prepositional phrase includes the preposition, its object, and any adjectives that modify the object. So it has a preposition at the beginning, prepositional phrase. It's usually 3 words, not always, but most times. It has a preposition, the first word is preposition, oftentimes, and it has an object of a preposition. The object of a preposition needs to be a noun or a pronoun. Let's just write that right here. Object. Oh, I'm misspelling. Who would have thought of, I did it again. Object of and adjectives. So, preposition or phrase has a preposition, like across, after, around, before, and so on. An object of a preposition. The object of the preposition is the noun or pronoun that it tells about. Okay? Remember that. Object of a preposition has to be a noun or pronoun. Let that sink into your head. I'll say it again. An object of a preposition has to be a noun or pronoun, right? And it also has an adjective, like, for example, near the cat. The. Notice how the is the adjective. Usually there are articles a and the that are the adjectives of the prepositional phrase. So let's look at these sentences here and pick out the prepositional phrase. Maybe you can pick them out already. So the first one, he showed me the card from his aunt. How do we find the prepositional phrase in that sentence? What you want to do is first find the preposition. That's probably the best way to go about it, because if you just try to find a noun, a lot of times there's more than one noun in a sentence. If you just try to find an adjective, well, you know there can be a whole bunch of adjectives. You could have 20 adjectives if you wanted. So we want to find the preposition, because the preposition is going to start at the beginning, and it's going to, right after it's going to be a prepositional phrase. It's part of the phrase. So, he showed me the card from his aunt. Do you see a preposition in that sentence? Look at your list. Is there any word in there that tells that is a preposition? And that's why it's important to memorize them, because you can look at this and quickly pick it out. Do you see it? If you can't find it at first, then look for a phrase. He showed. Oh, that would be the subject and the predicate, right? He showed me. So this would be the direct object, right? Because I got showed, receiving the action. So it's not there. That's the subject and the predicate. Where's the prepositional phrase? The card from his aunt. Which one of these is a preposition? From, right? It's a preposition. So we found the preposition. Now, from what? From his aunt. It was the card from his aunt, right? So let's underline all those words. There is our prepositional phrase. He showed me the card. Actually, I did something wrong here. That is not a direct object. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. Now I'm second guessing myself. It's either me or card. So I want you to figure that out, because we're not thinking about direct objects right now. So back to the prepositional phrase, from his aunt. So notice how aunt is a noun. If you hear Mr. Ben in the background, that's okay. He's just reading to himself because he likes to do that. From his aunt. So we have the preposition, adjective, and the noun, right? From his aunt. Notice once you find it, it just sticks out like a sore thumb. From his aunt, right there. See that? Okay, let's go to the next one. After the storm, the road was blocked. So find the preposition. After, right? Notice how after is a preposition. After the storm, the road was blocked. See how it's kind of a separate phrase from the rest of the sentence? So here we have road was blocked. We have the subject and the predicate. The road tells is an adjective. So this is kind of just its own phrase of the sentence. It's not a separate sentence. It's all the same sentence, but there's its own phrases. In sentences, you'll come across phrases. And there's phrases, clauses, and all kinds of stuff like that. But a prepositional phrase has a preposition, adjective, and the object of the preposition. After. After what? After the storm. The road was blocked, right? The dog on the porch watched us carefully. That's scary. You better run really fast and climb a tree. The dog on the porch watched us carefully. So, instead of waiting for you to find it, I can find it. It's right here. On is a preposition, right? Double check if you don't believe me. On what? What's the object of the preposition? On the dog. Does that make sense? On the dog. There it is. No, I'm wrong, right? That's good you caught that. Oh, if it wasn't for you, we would be sunk. On the porch, right? The dog on the porch. Notice how it's kind of the dog on the porch. When you find it, it makes sense how it's a phrase, right? The dog watched us carefully. You could take that phrase out, erase it, and the sentence would still make sense. The dog watched us carefully. Same with this one. The road was blocked. Makes sense. He showed me the card. Makes sense, right? This adds to the sentence, a prepositional phrase. The road was blocked after the storm. It tells when the road was blocked. And it also is a prepositional phrase. And you're going to learn how to diagram those. You don't just put them on slanted lines underneath the sentence like adverbs and adjectives. Well, you kind of do, but it's a different kind of slanted line. It's slanted one way and then straight the other way. But you'll learn to do that. So after is a preposition, after the storm, on the porch. Porch tells where, or the object of the preposition. Remember that as the object of the preposition. And one more, near the house we found a rabbit hole. Near, right? Would have to be it, because that's the only preposition in this whole sentence. This is why it's very, 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 very important to memorize these prepositions. Because then you can find these phrases very quickly. Near the house, we found a rabbit hole. If you have a phrase and you're like, I don't know if that's right, how do I tell? You can take away that phrase that you got, rip it away, and say the rest of the sentence and see if it makes sense. We found a rabbit hole. Makes perfectly sense. It's a complete sentence, right? Near the house, we found a rabbit hole. That adds to the sentence. It tells where we found it. So if you can take the prepositional phrase away and it still makes sense, you know you probably have the right one. If you take the phrase away and it doesn't make sense, then you know you probably have the wrong one. If you would have, I don't know how you could come up with this, but let's say you would have a rabbit hole as your prepositional phrase. You think, yep, that's a preposition. A rabbit hole. There we go, a prepositional phrase. Now you could take that away and say, near the house we found. Waiting for the rest of the sentence, right? It doesn't finish. It's a fragment. Near the house we found what? So ask yourself, does it make sense even if I take this away? That's maybe one trick to help you find prepositional phrases. And they're fairly easy. Probably the best thing is to learn those prepositions. That's not all the prepositions in your book. There's more than that in life or in the English language, but that's the most common ones. So remember the three parts of a prepositional phrase, and remember that a preposition is a part of speech, and also remember to find the preposition and then find the object of the preposition and the other adjective in the phrase. So prepositions are a lot of fun, and hopefully they make sense to you.